Good morning, everybody. This is Johnny Carciapolo from Focal Point Coaching, and I have another edition of Coffee with the Coach. And actually, it's a pretty dreary morning, but I'm going to hold up my coffee cup anyway. Robbie, hold up for your coffee cup. Let's have our coffee. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Pretty dreary day and going to be rainy all day. So I thought, how about something really special today? So I managed to talk a dynamic lady named Robbie Lewis into coming and sitting down talking to us. So first of all, let me just say hello, Robbie, and welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Happy to be here.
Good deal. So you guys are going to fall in love with Robbie. She is a bundle of energy. She is a superhuman being. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you a few things about her before we jump in. Robbie created Hoop for Fitness when she fell in love with hooping as a creative way to move and get exercise at the same time. She started hoop dance classes at St. Vincent's 119 in 2008 and has been making custom professional grade hoops for the community ever since. In addition to providing performances, demonstrations, hoop classes, and birthday parties, Robbie is a registered dietitian. She works for St. Vincent's Health System and provides nutrition consultation through her other business, Life Energy Balance, yes. Robbie lives in Chelsea with her husband, Chuck, two daughters, Annabelle and Evie, right, Robbie?
Right.
Evie.
Thank you.
Their white lab, Daisy, and 6 chickens. Hooping is her passion because it exists as a dance and art form while embracing exercise at the same time. According to Robbie, it is truly the only exercise that puts a smile on your face. So, without further ado, we are going to find out all about this hooping craze. And let me add one more thing. Robbie and I are in a business group together. And I can tell you she has on several occasions brought the hoop to the business meeting. And when I tell you this lady knows how to hula hoop, she knows how to hula hoop. So maybe we can coax her into doing a little demonstration when we get at the end of the interview. We'll see what happens. But anyway, how are you, Robbie?
I'm great. Good morning.
Glad to have you here on this dreary, ugly day. So, but we're going to go right into it and talk about the business because it really is a business, right? So a lot of people think of hula hoop is, oh, I have two daughters. They used to hula hoop. Never would have thought of it as being a business. So tell us about the business and how it is and how you really got into it and how you made it a business.
Sure. I actually fell in love with the hula hoop in 2001 when I was at a music festival. And I saw this girl with a ginormous hoop. And she wasn't doing anything fancy with it. It was just traveling around her waist, and everybody was in awe. And I just couldn't stop looking. I was like, I have to have one of these things. So I got home, started looking online, couldn't find out where to buy them, but I found out how to make them. So I started making them all the wrong ways until I learned how to make them all the right ways. And that led to about 7 years later, actually starting hoop dance classes here in Birmingham.
Pretty interesting. So there is a right way and a wrong way to make a hula hoop.
Correct.
That's interesting, right?
Well, there's a longer way to make it.
Okay.
A shorter version of making it faster. Yeah.
Okay, so fell in love 2001, started making them, turned this into a business. So what's your why? You know, when we talk to business owners, we want to know why do you do this?
As a health professional trying to promote wellness with being a dietitian, hooping really has just played into that very well because it brings in that exercise dynamic and it doesn't really feel like exercise when you're doing it. And that is why I love it so much because I'm not a big fan of exercise. I never have been. But when I found hooping and found how good it made me feel and watching other people kind of morph into better versions of themselves because of the hoop, kind of like yoga does. It kind of has that essence about it.
Right.
That's just seeing how it's touched people's lives and how it creates happiness and wellness in one. I think that's my why.
Okay, so be honest. Have you ever found anyone you couldn't teach to hula hoop?
No. But I will say that my very first class in 2008, I had a lady in her 80s come to my class, and that class was completely packed. But she came and she was not, by the end of the 1 hour class, she was not able to still successfully keep it on her waist. And now, being an instructor for so long, I know of different things that I could have done and she would have gotten it that 1 hour. But she kept trying and trying and trying. And at the end of the class, almost everybody bought a hula hoop, took it home and started using it, but she didn't. But then 3 days later, she called me. She said, I have to have one of those hula hoops because I am going to get this. So
kudos to her, 80 years old.
And that is the key. You've got to keep working on it. If it constantly is hitting the ground, well, that's great because you're getting closer and closer to being able to accomplish that challenge.
Are men harder than women to teach?
No,
really?
It's all the same.
I tell you, that's one thing. I had girls I used to try. Never had just never. So I may come to one of your classes just to say I learned how to hula hoop, right? I just want to make it go around one time and stay up. That's all.
Well, and that is the reason you go to a class is you as an individual need to find the right hoop for you. So there's different sizes, there's different weights, there's different shapes too, but I stick with the circles.
Yeah.
You can have a square hoop, you can have a heart-shaped hoop too.
No way. Oh my God.
But so that's why you go to a class is to find the right hoop for you. And when you're learning different moves with the hoop, so for example, of course, everybody knows waist hooping is the basics, right? So just keeping it on your waist, you might need a certain weight and size of a hoop versus leg hooping. You might need something a little bit lighter so it's not bruising you up constantly as you're learning that move. And so as you go through learning hoop dance, you end up with many different sizes when you find that you love it.
Gotcha. So you talked about it a little bit, right? So it kind of sounds like it's for everyone, but is there an ideal person, an ideal client that you said this would be perfect for? Or?
You know, I would have to say because of my business partner, Anne, she came to my very first class at St. Vincent's 119. She was about to give up her membership. She was like, you know, I just don't have the time. She's a realtor. And she doesn't have time to exercise, and she wasn't going to make the time until she found something that she really enjoyed. So if you're not an exerciser, if you are, you know, looking for just something different and you don't want to walk on a treadmill, you're not able to go out because it's cold outside, and you want something to do in the privacy of your own home where you don't have to have fancy clothing to do that activity, then hooping might very well be for you. Other clients of mine are individuals looking for birthday parties for their children who are around the 7, 8, 9-year-old age.
Yeah.
Also adults who are throwing big events and they want performers. I also do programs in schools and in libraries. And so that's ongoing throughout the school year. And then it shifts over into the summer reading programs for the libraries. So there's a lot of different clients out there.
That's pretty cool. You know, that when you said about the schools, right? So my grandson has a day where the tumble bus comes.
Yes.
Right? We need to have a day when Robbie comes with the hula hoops.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get on that.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that.
So this is a business. Do you do this by yourself, or do you have people that work with you? You have other instructors?
So I have Ann Kirkwood is my business partner. So she came to my very first class where that 80-year-old was there as well. And she never left. She came to every single class that I had for several years. Then I trained her to be an instructor when I knew I was about to get pregnant and have another baby. I said, I better get prepared here. And so she started teaching the St. Vincent's 119 classes at that time. And now my 6.5-year-old is, you know, that age, and Anne is still teaching those classes, and she absolutely loves them. They're Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 6 to 7 at St. Vincent's 119. So Anne is a key player in Hoop for Fitness. We have 2 other independent contractor instructors that work with us. We have Victoria Laviolette, and she's right now she's not teaching, but she does a lot of our events with us. She is more of an advanced hooper, where I am more of a beginning instructor. So I'm going to teach you how to get started. And then when you're like, okay, I already know everything that Robbie knows, come on, give me more. Then that's when we call on Victoria. And we also use Paige Marmolejo. and she is another advanced instructor, and she does more of the circus style. So she's going to do the multiple hoops on the body. She also heads up our fire troop through Lumen Arts Entertainment.
Fire.
So you
That
can
would be
get
cool.
you can get your hula hoop and have wicks on it, and so
Wow.
it's flaming. And that's another performance aspect that we do.
Awesome.
So we have 4 main instructors, but then we have a community of hoopers and performance artists. And so, when we're out in the community and we're doing 5K walk runs and other events, we've got, a variety of hula hoopers and poi spinners and other movement artists that come out and help us. And we're just there to help increase participation of all of your participants of your event, and try to either give them something to watch, give them to participate in, and teach them a little bit about hooping.
Yeah. So for the business, so try to get this straight in my head, is really 2 different pieces, right? So there's the piece where you actually are teaching a fitness class,
yes.
right? But then there's also the part of it where people can call and book you for parties or events or those kind of things. That's where you have some of the other people come in too and do the fire. I would love to see the fire. So.
Yes, I can't do that in our business meeting. Sorry.
Fire
marshal would not like us.
No. Okay, so if we've identified kind of the ideal people. So if you could give them one piece of advice, if someone's watching right now and they're kind of hula hooping, right? I don't know. If you could give one piece of advice, what would you give them?
One piece of advice for someone interested in hula hooping. I would have to say, don't give up after the first or second time that it hits the ground, because it is that consistency. And I believe this in business in general. It's just being consistent, and don't give up, and having someone that can give you that guidance, that's not coming through YouTube, that can actually give you that dynamic, is going to be very helpful in making sure that you're successful.
Yeah. And you're right, because there's a business rule that we teach in business coaching when we work with our clients, and it's called 2 feet from gold. And quite oftentimes people in business, they give up too soon, right? So they try, and they, well, I just can't make this business work, and they close the business. What they don't realize is they were 2 feet from this close to being successful, and all it would have taken was the help of a professional or someone has a different vision, right? So I know I'm not a hula hooper, right? So if I go and I drop it 5 times, I'm gonna want to walk out. But having a professional there to show me what I'm doing wrong and correct it, make sure I have the right hoop, is going to make it to where I get to that gold, right? I'm not, I don't walk away being this close. So that's it's a great analogy, right? With the business, and with anything. Yes. Anything you want to do, you really have to use the experts and make sure you're giving it 100%, and chances are you'll get it done.
Yep.
Although I still have questions about getting me to hula hoop. I'm not sure about that one.
Good thing I'm seeing you later on today.
I know.
Be prepared.
So, all right. So we're talking about this fitness, right? So I think of hula hooping, or maybe a lot of people think of it as, kids' toy. So what is it? What is it working, right? So what changes or improvements are you seeing in people because now they're hula hooping?
I had a lady who got a hula hoop from me towards the beginning of my business, and she was in her, I would say she was in her 60s. And I saw her recently, actually. And I saw her a couple weeks after she got the hoop, and she said, "Robbie, I have been using that hula hoop for 30 minutes every day while I'm watching TV, and I make sure that I go both directions, so I'm working both sides of my body. And I've lost 3 inches off of my waist."
Wow.
And I looked at her and I said, "You don't have 3 inches to lose off of your weight." But, that's awesome. So it's a great cardiovascular workout. It's also great at toning your muscles. And when I was learning different moves, so for example, hooping up on your chest, these are muscles that I am not used to using, and pushing something heavy.
Right.
Fairly heavy. It's not real heavy, but, and so just utilizing those muscles was like, wow, I actually am getting a total body workout with this. But what I love about hooping is it's not just the fitness aspect. It is a dance. Now you initially start learning those moves, but then you start taking those moves and piecing them together, and you transition from one move to the next. You put it to music. You start getting your groove on, getting your flow, and you have your own personality that comes out of that. And so for that reason, there's no right or wrong when you're hooping. This person over here who's been hooping for 5 years, and I've been hooping for, oh gosh, I don't know, 14 years. They might be better than me in my mind because they do different moves. Well, they're in tune with those moves. That's great. I don't see me ever doing that move because it doesn't work for me. It's not something that I'm interested in, but that doesn't mean that that person's better than I am or I'm better than that person. We just have different preference of moves. And the way that that person hoops really fast and I like to go slower and more flowy, that's just our personalities. And so that's another thing about our community is we're all fairly, supportive of each other. Is like, hey, let me teach you this move. Hey, how do you do that? And so we have a lot of give and take because we're working on our flow, our art, our dance. And hooping is just one way to do that. And it happens to just give you a little bit of exercise at the same time.
That's excellent. Who knew, right? I love this. I think it's amazing. So for what you do, from for the health reasons, the fun, seeing the changes in people, what's the most rewarding aspect of all this for you?
For me, it's being in Birmingham and seeing the community grow. And we have a monthly fire jam at Avondale Brewing Company. It's the third Wednesday of every month. So it's actually not this week, it's next week on the 15th. It's a free event. It is 21 and up just because it is a brewery. But those individuals who like to hoop, they like to move with their LED toys. They like to try out or practice their fire performing skills. That is what that event is for. So we've got DJs that come out. This month we're going to have drummers for half of the time and a DJ for the rest of the time. Actually, 2 DJs. And it's a community effort. And we're giving to the community. And so many people come out for it. And over the past, I would say 14 months that we've done it, it has grown and everybody really enjoys it. So for me, just seeing the impact in our community is very fulfilling, and it's no financial impact, it's just it's the growth and how it's influencing a lot of people's lives.
Sure. Well, and I'm always a big advocate of alternatives, right? So we all want to eat healthier, we all want to exercise more, but there are some of us who do not like to exercise. So having an alternative that is fun, but you still get a workout and you still start seeing results is, to me, is phenomenal, right? And again, who knew, right? I've never heard of this. I'm pretty excited about it, just for everyone I know, just to even get out and try it. So. Okay, one question I like to ask everyone is just for the sake of saying it, what is your favorite quote?
I would have to say, you're never fully dressed without a smile.
Oh, I love that one.
And you could put it in tune if you want, but I will spare you all.
I love that one. That is awesome. Okay, so we've got people watching who've never heard of hula hooping before. And you've intrigued them. So let's find out the best way to get in touch with you so we can get them into one of your classes, or we can get you at one of their events.
Okay. Well, I'll run through some of our classes that we're currently holding right now. So we have our St. Vincent's 119 classes every Tuesday and Thursday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Your first class is free, so you don't have any excuse not to come out and try it. But it is always more fun if you bring a friend with you, because you do tend to laugh a lot during class. So it's very therapeutic. So not only are you getting exercise, but you're reducing stress with all the laughter that you have.
Right.
So you're never fully dressed without a smile. So we have our 119 classes. We also currently have classes at Golden Temple. Now, we had one start that's more of an advanced class. It started last night, but I think that you could still get into that this coming week. We have so that's on Monday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. at Golden Temple, downtown Birmingham. And next month, we're going to be at Birmingham Yoga on Monday nights from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. So if you're working downtown, that should hopefully be a short stop before you're on your way home. And that's going to be a beginning hoop dance class. It's $48. It's a 4-week series. So it's going to be every Monday night of April. You can visit our website. It's hoop4, which is FOR fitness.com, hoop4fitness.com. You can email us at info@hoop4fitnessbham.com. That's BHAM.com. And then you can always give me a call. I do like to talk on the phone. It's okay. You can even text me if you really want to, 205-515-3010. And I'm Robbie Lewis.
Awesome.
Oh, and we're on Facebook. Sorry, Johnny. We're on Facebook. It's facebook.com/hoop4fitness. Just make sure you put FOR instead of the number 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the classes, they're typically an hour?
They are.
Okay. Good to know.
And we have hoops available for you to use, so you don't have to feel like you need to bring your own.
Okay.
If you want to, you can.
Okay.
If you have one.
Good deal. So any special giveaways or specials you want to mention as someone is watching this, maybe if they mention this?
Sure. If you would like to mention, if you contact us and you mention the virtual coffee interview, I would love to give you 20% off of a fitness hoop. So that could be actually the adult size fitness hoop. You can see behind me, the tallest one is blue, and that's the fitness hoop. And then I'll also give you 20% off of a kid hoop or a baby hoop. Baby hoops are designed for ages 5 and younger.
Okay.
And then also, if you'd like to book a performance, I'd be happy to give you 20% off of that as well. So any type of demo or participation.
I like that little bitty one. I'm going to bring my grandson with me when I come.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so I think it's phenomenal. I really do. I love finding this kind of stuff where, you know, it's different than what most people think. Most people, when you, like I said, when you think about hula hoop, you wouldn't think of fitness and performances and all those kind of things. And I mean, I've seen in the circuses or even other places, the people who do the fancy things. Who knew we had that right here in Birmingham, right? And you could get that at a party. So somebody's looking for a party idea for their kids, Robbie. Someone's looking for a party idea for the adults and wants to, you know, I want to see the fire, right? I want to see the fire people. I want to see that. So great idea. Something, you know, thinking out of the box, something completely different. So this is why I love this stuff. So we're pretty much at the end. Do you have anything you want to add before we're done?
No, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. So can we coax you into doing one little demonstration for us?
I got to turn on some music, if that's
great.
okay.
Great.
Because you can't hoop without music.
Look how easy she makes it look. That is amazing. Totally amazing. Totally amazing. Awesome. All right, everybody, if that doesn't convince you that
Thank
this is
you.
something you want to do, right? That is not just your everyday hula hooping, right? That is that. So we learned that in the first class, right?
Yes, some of that, some of it, with one hoop. Don't be
That's a,
intimidated.
that's amazing. All right. Well, this has been great interview, a great conversation. This is Johnny Carciopolo again with Virtual Coffee with the Coach. And let's hold our glasses up again. Thank you so much for being here and explaining all about the hula hoop and how it can benefit us. And everybody get out there and hula hoop and call Robbie for your parties. Call Robbie for fitness. She'll make it a lot of fun on a dreary day like this. It's a perfect day to hula hoop, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Well, thank
Johnny.
you very much. It was a pleasure having you. And for everyone else, I will see you on the next edition of Virtual Coffee with the Coach. Thank you.